Hi, I'm Jax, and this is my cargo truck that I'm converting into a tiny living space. Now, if you tuned in last week, you'll know that I made a gross miscalculation on my bench seats on the height. After ordering the upholstery, it was recommended that I go with a much thinner memory foam as opposed to the 10-inch I was planning on. I went with a 5-inch, and because of that, the bench seats were going to be too low. So what I've done is remove the bench seats that I had previously built recently. Well, not recently, but recently in the timeline of these videos. And I'm preparing for the rebuild. So I said that I wasn't going to film much of this, but what I'm going to do, though, there are some key points that I'm going to address now during the rebuild that I didn't really address when I built them in the first place. So I'm going to cover that at the very least, and then give you the lowdown and the hoedown once everything's been completed. So one of the things that I am going to change is the back trim sections, how I trimmed out the cabinets, the bench seats in the first place. So one of the first things I did is I removed this metal trim piece from the back of the flooring here. So what this does is it allowed the ramp to hook into and to prevent damage from the corner of the bed of the vehicle. So what I'm going to do here is I install this 2x4, 1x4 rather, and it is up about 1.5 inches right now, and that's going to edge the bottom edge of the bench seats. And then here in the middle where the walkway is, what I'll do is I'll route this down flush with the top of the flooring, so there won't be a trip hazard there. And I'll round this over with a trim piece to protect the edge as well. So that's the start of the new bench seats. So I'm not going to film a great deal of what I've got going on right now, but there are a few things that I've changed. Obviously, I'm 4 inches taller, and I put a trim board all the way across. That's going to get coped out for this height of the flooring afterwards, but I thought it would look nicer. I added a trim piece in here, and then eventually I could probably cut out an opening in here on both sides to accommodate for a cabinet door of some sort, so I can gain access to this little end here without having to lift up the cushions. The other thing that I did this time was I accommodated for the electrical panels. Now that was the original location where I had planned to put them, and I'm kind of glad I did it this way now, because I think it would have been a complete mess trying to cut it in place. So basically I've got two main breaker panels, and I checked when the stairs are stowed, I'm still going to be able to access these two panels from the inside without any issue. Now what we'll do is I'll have a plexiglass cover, so that way there's no way you can bump that on the way in or out. But basically what I've got is I got two breaker panels. One is for 120 volts, your standard home electrical appliances and so forth, the refrigerator, the induction cooktop, so on and so forth. And then I've got a 12 volt panel also that'll accommodate all of the 12 volt stuff, like the lights, the water pump, there'll be a few other things. I got a list of it all that'll accommodate, but that's what I wanted to get sort of framed in this time, because I know this would have been a real bear to try to cut in place after the fact. I would have had to break apart the whole thing in order to get it to work. So I'm glad I did it now this way. All right, so today, this morning, rather, I'm ready to install all the components that I fabricated up for these new benches. I've got everything primed and painted and ready to install. So it should be a pretty straightforward setup. So how about you follow along and check it out. All right, that'll do for now. Okay. right, so there we have it. Two new bench seats, all installed. Now I gotta rework the lids. Probably gotta rework the lids. I haven't tried to fit them yet, but I know this one over here is gonna have to get trimmed. That's just because of the way I rebuilt this bench. I built it just a fuzz different than I did the last time. So, but there you have it. I got the bulkhead for the galley there. Nice little accent. I decided to go with a darker color down here on the bottom. Definitely not going to paint the whole interior, you know, this dark gray, but I wanted some contrast, so this seemed to fit well with the flooring that I'm choosing, as well as the tile, the laminate tile I'm going to use for the backsplash there in the kitchen. So it should flow pretty good. We'll see how that looks when I get that, start to look at that and get that installed. Okay, that's it. Job done. Covers are on. I had to fit them a little bit, trim them here or there. I got some touch-up paint. I'm probably going to paint the tops of these white or gray as well to match the bases. I also got to finish painting this side. I didn't worry about that when I painted yesterday because, well, you know, I could get to it now without any rush or hurry. But this side here I wanted it painted, so that looks pretty good. It's pretty comfortable. Time we get a cushion on here, it's going to be pretty nice indeed. Can't wait for van life, that's for sure. It's going to be nice. Thank you very much for tuning in. Be sure to check out next week's video. And if you like the content, be sure to like and subscribe.